Everything you wish you could ask. Straight up, to the point, no escape.
Okay, so who got their facts wrong?
You never get the answer if you don't ask the question.
Do you regret your involvement?
Winnipeg Direct with John Youngberg.
Welcome to Winnipeg Direct on Shaw, a show that targets big issues, current events, and hot topics that affect our cities, provinces, and the country. Joining our panel for the discussion about whether private auto insurance is more beneficial than public insurance is City Councillor Gord Steeves. Nice to have you here. We also have Adrian Halpers. Nice to have you here, of course. And we have got Bill Podolsky, an MPI customer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's MPIC, Manitoba Public Insurance Corporation, is a crown corporation which is supposed to protect the public by regulating insurance premiums and compensating those who have been injured through motor vehicle accidents. Now, the Manitoba Public Utilities Board was mandated to regulate the rates charged by Manitoba Hydro, Electrical Utility, Manitoba Public Insurance, Auto Insurance, and also some gas and propane utilities such as Centra Gas, Stitco, and Swan Valley Gas Corporation, as well as all water and sewer utilities outside Winnipeg. People of Manitoba are happy to get a windfall or a check back from MPIC, but the windfall was only the result of overpaying their premiums and having the Manitoba Public Utilities Board step in, forcing MPIC to return the money back to the consumer. Many Manitobans are not happy paying more for insurance in Manitoba, whereas other provinces pay significantly less. All right, here we go. In the 90s, Manitoba switched to no-fault insurance to save consumers skyrocketing costs associated with litigation, as we know. And the thought at the time would this would result in decreased premiums and deductibles for consumers, saving the average Joe his hard-earned money. So, Councillor Steeves, in your opinion, why is Manitoba still paying more than sister provinces?
Well, I mean, I think it's part of an overall philosophy in Manitoba that we have, and I say unfortunately we have because I don't share the philosophy. We do a lot of things through government in this province. We always have as a province. As a city councillor, I can tell you I'd be more interested in fostering ideas and initiatives and philosophies that encourage the private sector. For me, this comes down to a very basic philosophical question. Is auto insurance a service that government needs to provide, or could this service be provided by the private sector? The obvious answer to me is yes, it could. Mm-hmm. You talk about the no-fault insurance that happened in the 90s. I don't know if it was necessarily to, whether or not what it was meant to save, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure that it's accomplishing what folks thought it should accomplish in terms of taking care of people who have been injured. There's still a lot of debate out there about that. If this province could get to a place where the marketplace was open to market competition, in my opinion, that would do every single thing that we could do to ensure that rates, premiums were all kept low, because like anything else, it'd be a competitive marketplace. As well, the successful places that paid out fairly on auto insurance claim would be rewarded with more customers. That's the way business works, and I'm not exactly sure why or how this province wound up with a system where we wouldn't even consider that, but it is an interesting thought.
Absolutely. Now, Adrian, you're the creator of the Motor Vehicle Accident Support Group, so you're right in on this. How did you feel when you were getting the check back?
I was actually kind of disappointed. It's probably the exact opposite thing that other people were feeling. They're getting back $500, $700, whatever their return might be, and meanwhile, I'm sitting there. I've been talking to all these people during the past couple of months. They're talking about having their claims denied and about how they're not entitled to all these benefits, and meanwhile, you might be thinking, well, maybe the company has to do this because they don't have the money to pay it out. And meanwhile, you hear that they've got these millions of dollars just sitting in the bank. And instead of making the actual people that are supposed to be getting the products and using it, because that is what they're selling insurance, when you go to claim it, you're not able to. And then meanwhile, they're making ratepayers happy by giving everybody else money. So it's kind of like having your voice shut down, because not only are you not happy, but everybody else around you is happy because they just got a check. So why would they even listen to you?
Well, I tell you, it's everybody was excited about getting a check, but then once you realize that you've been overpaying for so long, it doesn't quite add up. Bill, I got to ask you, another MPI customer, of course, how do you feel that it was not, in fact, MPI who decided to give the money back, but it was the Public Utilities Board that had to go in and kind of nudge him to do this? Well,
I think that's pretty interesting. I think, I kind of did a little peeking into the numbers on this, and it seemed to me, if I got my numbers straight, that they have about a $2.1 billion reserve fund, and that the amount of money that was redistributed was around the 30 million mark, so it's about 15% or whatnot. I don't know. I think from a consumer's perspective, like I've lived, you know, a lot of places on the planet. I've paid insurance at different places. I think overall we have a pretty good system here.
But this whole idea that we should be grateful for getting our money back from a utility that we've paid into with our tax dollars, to
I think Adrian agrees with that.
is laughable. This is, I mean, I guess it's philosophical thought, and perhaps Bill has a different philosophy overall than I do, but I would remind Bill, while he's being happy about getting his check back, it was your money in the first place. Mm-hmm. So while we're celebrating sort of the return of our money to us, I would ask, if his argument on car insurance is that argument, why not house insurance? Okay. Why not tenant insurance? Why not every single thing in our society? I mean, why doesn't the government run everything if that's what we have such confidence in? And then ultimately you get to sort of post-communist Russia where the whole system collapsed, and we just know that system does not work. So we, in North America, embrace a different system of free market capitalism where people can come in, they can do their best, they can self-actualize and create new things and live wonderful free lives, which is something that so many countries on this earth cannot offer. I hope that's not too I guess, deep for this argument, but it really does come down to that.
No, not at all.
It really does come down to that. If you can make an argument for public auto insurance and that nobody else should be allowed into the marketplace, well, you can make the argument for anything.
Well, can't you, as a government representative of the people, when is the government going to step in, and can they step in to MPI and say, you know, and get things changed?
They can step in any time they want. Look at the new announcement that has been in discussion on the liquor laws. Right? For centuries, not centuries, decades, we haven't allowed the sale of alcohol, booze, wine in grocery stores. Right. What was the purpose of that? Why could we not allow that? I understand that's changing now. Changed just like that.
Yeah, they announced it today.
Exactly. Why can't we do the same thing in auto? If what we're saying is deregulation, open up the marketplace is a good thing, let's embrace the concept.
So I'm going to throw this out to all of you. Public versus private. I mean, what would you rather see? What would you rather see?
I mean, to me, like hands down, it's not even a competition. Just having actually been in this situation and having to use the product, which is a public product, I would have to go with private insurance because at the end of the day, even if you're not happy with the product, there's other companies out there competing for the same business. With this one, we have these individuals who have gotten to the point where it's so bad with their insurance company that they have to have a support group for it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they still have to pay the same person for their insurance if they want to drive a car in the province.
Well, you were going to jump in?
Well, no, I agree completely. This young man is in a terrible situation for one reason. He has no choice. He has no option.
Well, that's the thing. There's no choice.
There is no choice. There's no option. There's nothing that he can do. He is completely stuck and will remain stuck in the same system. If you go to places in Africa or in undeveloped parts of Asia, they have these ancient sort of post-colonial bureaucracies where nothing ever happens, precisely because they're run by anarchists, essentially, who will not let anybody else into the system, and you have to dance to their tune. I'm not suggesting MPIC is that, but what I am suggesting is competition is healthy.
All right, good enough. Yeah, competition is healthy, and it takes away the monopoly. And you just said yourself, you've experienced both sides of it. I don't think Manitobans, a lot of them, maybe have experienced both sides of it.
Yeah, and you know, I would have to disagree with Gord because, I mean, let's just kind of look at healthcare, our national healthcare system. We probably have one of the best providing systems on the whole entire planet. That might be up for debate at points in time, but we're always seeing how much the insurance component is altering the actual delivery of different health care stateside and how many people are eligible or ineligible. I think that our system is not perfect, but I think it's better than a lot, and
Well, Bill, if I may, I apologize for interrupting, but are we really going to put health care in the same category as auto insurance? Well, are these two things equal and essential to people?
I think in
I would argue that health care is essential to people and a core service of government in this country. My belief, I do not feel the same way about auto insurance. I think auto insurance is something the private sector could easily provide. So for my money, I wouldn't put the two things in the same category.
Aren't we discussing the litigations of the settlements for compensation of people's altering conditions of health after an accident? Is there not a similarity there? And in Adrian's case, because it's so much money, wouldn't it be fair to say that there is a health component in auto insurance?
Of course there is, and that's why private auto insurers, when one of their insured is injured, they have to pay for that care. And they have to give the person that care. And they have to make sure the person has that care. And if they don't deliver on it, there'll be all sorts of private enterprises who will be written up.
Reinsurance corporations, when you start looking at private insurances, when they have a devastating hit like a Hurricane Katrina or whatnot, all the premiums skyrocket, the reinsurances get rewritten, underwritten in Greece and different countries that can eliminate a lot of the actual availabilities to be able to access a policy's underwriting that was originally intended with one purpose, but then the financial implications
has the reality
cannot.
Has the reality been that people in the United States or Great Britain or Canada cannot get, or not, leave Canada out for the mix, Great Britain cannot get auto insurance? Have the premiums really skyrocketed that much in the United States?
Actually, they have.
No, they have not.
And the whole insurance industry, its tentacles are in all the different modalities of it.
But there's a trickle-down effect, obviously.
Of course there's going to be trickle-down. There's going to be market forces. There's going to be good times. There's going to be bad times. There's also going to be innumerable commercials on television, everything on the internet where people are advertising their wares, trying to get their insurance into the hands the cheapest possible.
When was the last time you've seen a private insurance company voluntarily give a rebate to their customers?
They can't overcharge though enough
they
to give a rebate.
can't overcharge in the private market. They won't have customers.
In the capitalist world of capitalism,
Bill, for heaven's sake, you're thanking these people for giving you back your money.
It's
in
your private
money,
insurance, that extra money that's earned is going to some CEOs.
Adrian's going to bust here. He's got.
But I mean, I think the other issue is you're talking about the states. Like, look at just actually at home in Canada versus the other provinces. If MPI was such a good thing, they've been in since 1994. So if you actually compare insurance rate to other ones, and they're talking about rate stability, our ones should have stayed the same while everybody else has skyrocketed. The last actual study that was done by the Fraser Institute is the only one that was recently done in 2005, shows that we're still only in the middle of the pack. There's probably about 6 or 7 other provinces right now that are actually beating us insurance rates, whereas this system was introduced because it said that if we don't do it, then we're going to skyrocket it. So what happened to them and what happened to us, or we're paying more now?
If you take the statistics and you look at them from a demographic perspective, from a risk assessment perspective, from an age perspective, from many, many variables that Creative Accounting 101 can come up with, you'll find out that there's more money in not putting in the CEO's back pocket.
So why not do it for everything, Bill? Like, why not do it for house insurance? Why not do it for food?
That's a really good
question, the government
Gord.
could run everything.
No, I'm not saying the government. I think maybe
Well, the MPIC
NGOs.
is the government, Bill.
Yeah, is it not like the same thing we talked about with the phone system?
Utility board, another agency that...
But it comes down to whether or not you want to obligate the government to run all of these services, or if you trust other people in the community to run these services. I don't think you have to go from one screen
to another. I think you can perceive the benefits of having a market condition that can be overseen and regulated by appointed members of the community, and I can see that you can also increase the benefits to the consumer as well. It depends on what particular aspect of what a governmental perspective is to be, but I think overall it's fair to say that the average person out there today is really not, happy with governmental services, period, because they're in a whole different Ivy League. They live in a different world than the rest of us government personnel, because their perks are just like senators and congressmen and elected officials, 2 terms and full pension and full everything.
He didn't mention city councilors.
No, city councilors, I think, are the hard-working of the bunch.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear, Bill. I appreciate that. He was a charmer, this guy. He's a charmer.
He got out of it. Yeah. Real quick, right down the line.
Certainly.
Would you like to see private insurance?
I'd like to see something introduced into the marketplace where there was competition.
Adrian?
Exactly what he said. I'd just like to see competition, something to regulate where we are from now and where it was supposed to be and where it's gotten to now.
And dare I ask, Bill?
Can't we already get riders to MPIC for different components?
All right, listen, that's all the time we have. We are going to take a break here on Winnipeg, coming back with Hockey Talk. That's right, don't go away. We'll see you in just a few minutes.